channel. Today we're going to be doing something completely from the imagination. We're getting close to Halloween now, so I thought it'd be nice to do a witch, and I thought I'd do her in Brusho and ink. So some of you might need to do things like this for school projects if you've got children. So just a bit of fun really, and quite a quick little video. So you'll see I'm setting off with pencil, and the idea with this really is, obviously when you're drawing in ink it's very easy to make mistakes and you can't correct them. So it gives you a guideline to work to with your ink, and you can be a bit more free with your ink if you've got some pencil guidelines there. But also you'll notice that I draw the witch's legs and body shape underneath her dress. So even if you're drawing a dress, hats, clothes, anything like that, you need a bit of an indication of where the body is underneath to make it look more realistic. So though it's completely imaginary, I still want it to look as if, you know, her posture could be correct, and that, you know, you don't want anything to look awkward. So just make sure the posture's right and you've got those legs there under the dress. And one other thing was I wanted to know where the legs were going to be so that I could pop the shoes coming out of the dress. And if you've not got that correct, the hips and the thighs and everything lined up, it's going to look silly if you put the feet in the wrong place popping out of the dress. And you'll notice when I start putting on the ink that I also draw around some of those lines that I've put, as if the fabric's sort of clinging to her a bit, because she's in the mid-air and obviously she's got quite a floaty fabric on, so we'll still want to indicate where those legs are inside that dress. And the other thing is, later on you'll see when I put the black Brusho on the camera it doesn't really show through, but you'll see on the finished image when it's dry that you can still see those black ink lines. So it's nice to give a bit of an indication of that flowing fabric. So some lines are lines of where the fabric's all creased and it's quite a tatty fabric, and some lines are where the fabric's clinging to the witch. So obviously a water resistant pen that I'm using, and I've speeded the video up so you can, you don't have to get bored watching all that pen drawing, and you can just pause it whenever. So really there's just two colours in the Brusho. No, sorry, 3 colours in the Brusho. So I've got a black Brusho which I paint on, so I mix that up with water first and then paint it on, straight onto dry paper. And then I sprinkle a little bit of the black Brusho into that just to give a bit of texture again to the fabric, because like I say, I wanted it to look a bit sort of tatty and spooky. And then I use grey for her hair, so I wet the hair and then sprinkle it in, and then I pop a little bit of Gamboge on just to bring a little bit of light back to the whole painting. And you will see later on that I also use a little bit of watercolour just for her skin, so she's just got a little bit of a neck and chin showing and a hand, so I use some skin tones for that. So I've got yellow ochre with a tiny touch of alizarin crimson in, and it did actually mix a little bit with some of that black and grey Brusho that was already on the picture, and I think that worked quite well because, you know, we don't want her to look too pristine. She's a witch after all. So you'll see the images at the end of the video as I put on. I've actually cropped her out of this photograph on Photoshop. So once I've finished the image, I took a nice photograph of it, went on to Photoshop and cropped her so that she was completely out. And then I did 2 more images, one where I converted her into black and white, and another one where I inverted the colours so she became a white witch. So we can have a black witch and a white witch just by playing around with the one image in Photoshop. Okay, so if you do have a go at a witch, like I say, just start off with your pencil. Think about the shape of the body underneath, so get the basic lines in the shape of the skull, where the hips, shoulders, knees and feet are. A bit like we did in those figure drawings a few weeks ago where I showed you, just how to do a basic figure. I'll pop the link to that actually, because it might be helpful for this. So do that first, do your figure, and then put the clothes on over the top, and then obviously rub those lines out once you've finished doing the ink, and just have a bit of fun with it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching. Let me know how you get on with that, and I'll be back again soon. Bye bye for now.